Welcome back, everybody. Episode 14, right?
Oh, you knew, yeah.
Episode 14, Huerta and Dominguez. We still need to come up with a with a new channel name. So if you guys have any recommendations for that channel name, please feel free to drop them below. Have you thought about anything?
I haven't, bro. I mean, I've been trying to think about possible names ever since we reached 10 episodes. I know you said after 10 episodes, we're going to put a name to this podcast, but I don't know. I've always found it hard to come up with names.
I found it super difficult too in a lot of the projects that we've had. Let's go back in time and name some of those projects and our business names that we've had.
First one,
TOP marketing.
The Limitless project.
Was it my Limitless marketing first, or was that never a thing?
It sounds familiar. My Limitless marketing. It was either my Limitless marketing or the Limitless project.
That was for sure the official one.
I think it was my Limitless marketing first.
Okay, yeah.
But I think when we filed, I think it was
it was like dubbed.
Yeah. What do you mean? Like it was already
it had been duplicated already by someone, so we couldn't use it. And then that became into TOP Ventures, which is the Limitless project.
How did we come up with that one?
I think it was just my Limitless marketing. I think it was just trying to find something that was similar to it.
Well, I have not a story, but I think that we were getting into the self-development stuff, and one word that rung true to us was being limitless. And I think from there, we just developed the name, My Limitless Marketing.
Yep. What's another one that you remember?
After that one, I remember...
The next one I remember is Connexio.
Connection. No. Well, but what about Huerta and Dominguez? That wasn't first?
No. Because Connexio was Hawaii.
Connexio, bro.
So we had the best, wonderful idea, guys, where we were going to start this bracelet company. And I'm sure you guys have heard of...
Pura Vida?
Pura Vida? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
It's some bracelets, and basically... it's just trendy bracelets that really went off, and they donated a portion of the sales to charities and fundraisers. And I basically had this similar idea when we were in Hawaii. There was these bracelets. They were copper and silver and gold, but it wasn't gold, obviously.
Right.
And basically you stamped with metal a name or something, whatever you wanted to stamp. They even had designs like hearts, right? And swirls and stars. And so we had this idea. I don't know, bro. I think it could still kick off.
Dude, there was something there back then when we were in our Hawaiian vibe. We definitely saw this as a possibility. When we went back to Goshen, our hometown, and we were still trying to make that happen. But it was a good concept. I like the name Connexio.
But so would you say that was a good name?
Yeah, I like the name. You didn't?
Yeah. But you know how we're on the topic of we haven't been good at picking names?
Yeah, I think that one was good. It was not easy coming up. That's what I mean. It's not easy coming up with these names. Some are hit or miss, but I think Connexio was a good one.
A good one.
It was about connecting people, right?
It was about connecting people. Basically, one of the ideas was every time you ordered a bracelet, behind the bracelet would have the username of another person, and you would basically have this memory of this other person and be able to connect with them and find them on Instagram, Twitter, or whatever.
Dude, that's pretty cool. I don't even remember that.
You don't remember that part? Yeah. And then again, we also had the idea of donating a portion to charities as well. That was in our woke era.
Yeah.
And
after that one, I have one.
Okay, I'm ready.
Connect to the good life.
Connect to the good life.
Because that was Hawaii.
Yes.
Time frame.
Connect to the good life. I think that was a good one too.
Dude, that was a good one, bro.
That was a good podcast name. So that was my podcast, guys. I actually recently took that down because I paid for that was 2019. We're in 2023.
No, you did not keep
for
paying for that.
4 years. Yeah, because if not, my podcast goes down.
No hosting, right?
Yeah. So I had to
Oh, that hurt.
pay, like, it was $15. You know what I also pay for still, bro?
What?
Couch surfing.
Oh, was that monthly?
Yeah. And it's
Wow.
like $2.
Oh,
So that's why I still pay it. But
Yeah.
every month, the couch surfing takes $2. If you guys don't know what couch surfing is, it's a website. Or is there an app?
an app. Yeah.
It's an app website where you can basically go on there and request to stay at someone's house for absolutely free. They host you. And that's how we traveled around the world at first, just staying in random people's houses and
Around the country.
And so because of that, we were able to travel. And that's why I've been okay paying these $2 because they helped me when I
Yeah.
needed to do that. So I just like helping the app.
Dude, Connect to the Good Life was a good name, and the cover was also great. You hired someone to do the cover.
That was
and they
my
did a really good
psychedelic
job.
era.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty good.
I
You
think
had
I
everything
have,
about your life
I
there.
think I have a good eye for logos and I don't know, just designs in a way.
When I think about it, I don't remember how TLP came. I mean, I think it was Canva and there was like
Yeah.
pre-made, like it was like even the font. I don't think you would like it now, the font, but then
Oh yeah,
the logo for Rib, the logo for H&D,
Ride a Baby Bikes.
Ride a Baby Bikes.
So Isaac came up with that one, right?
Yeah.
Basically, I remember that one. We dropped it in the chat when we moved to California with 7 of our friends, and everybody was texting their ideas. And finally, Isaac came up with Ride a Baby Bike somehow. And when I heard that name, I said, "Yeah, that's the one."
And
Then I think that was pretty much it. And then the Limitless project, for some reason, we thought we had to evolve it into something else. And so we had to think of what do we change the Limitless project, because now we were working with the guys. And or do you remember exactly the reason why we decided to change it?
yeah, I think we were just going through a rebranding phase. We thought it was necessary to give it a new name.
And we didn't know what, so we just said our last names.
I remember when we were doing that, we were asking everyone, should my last name be first or should Max's last name be first?
But I think we got inspiration through, has been a lot of companies over the hundreds of years where it's partnerships, and what these partnerships end up doing is just putting their last names. I think Warby Parker is one of them, the glasses
Yeah.
company. Trying to think of others.
Yeah, they know.
Thunder
You guys know
Mifflin.
that there are a few of companies. And I think in the agency world, that's very common too. I can't remember names off the top of my head, but I've seen it. And I know that back then we made sense of it because there were other agencies that would use last names.
And just names in general. For example, VaynerMedia.
Names, last names.
Just in general, people use their names in businesses. So we decided to go that route. After that, what else?
After that, Ride It Baby Cars.
Ride a
That one
Baby
was an
Cars.
easy one.
That was an easy one as it was just an extension of Ride a Baby worldwide experiences.
But the logo was something new, I think.
Yeah. The logo was new. And then Beachside Bike Rentals, we didn't come up with that name. It was already established, but we decided to keep it. It made sense for the business.
Yeah.
And I feel that you have grown to like that name.
Myself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that name. Yeah.
Beachside.
Yeah, it's a cool name. I do think that in the future, like you said, with other projects that we have going on for Beachside, maybe we'll have to tweak it or just shorten it to something else. I know you mentioned the handle for Beachside on TikTok Beachside Bike Rental doesn't really reflect what we're trying to expand to.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's been all the brands. And then obviously the podcast, but it's still Huerta Dominguez.
So if you guys have any suggestions, again,
Let us know.
let us know.
But you haven't thought about any.
I haven't thought of any.
Yeah, it's a tough one. a tough one, bro.
I really thought I would have had something by now
Yeah.
where it would have just came to my mind, but it just hasn't. I don't know why.
I think I know why.
Why?
And I feel it.
Why?
I think that, I don't know, maybe you haven't committed 100% to the pod
Whoa.
in the sense that you're committed to doing them, but I think you're not thinking, let's grow this. I think you're more on the mindset of, okay, we'll do the episode every week or when we can. But knowing you, I know when you have something that you're trying to tackle, you do it.
Yeah.
And going based on what you said, once we hit the 10 episodes, we'll change the name, right?
Right.
And then that didn't happen, obviously. But yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm just letting time continue to do its thing and have it grow.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not something that I'm like pushing
Yeah.
constantly
Well, I've been
and thinking of.
You know how we always divide the responsibility and our dynamic, but you're more on the branding side of things, right? Like the name, the logo, and I'm more back end. I think that we were gonna have a guest today for this episode, our friend Misael. I bought more equipment because I knew we needed another microphone just to make the editing process easier. Bought an extension cord to be able to connect all the microphones. I think on the back end, I've been trying to, and I've brought it up to you, we need another camera, right? And I've been trying to improve in that regard, but I think that we need that max touch on the on the branding.
I will try to think about it, guys.
Yeah, I know you will.
Dude, one of the things that I kind of wanted to talk about was, I don't know if you saw Trump's mugshot.
Bro, I just saw that before the
just saw
episode.
that right
I just
now?
saw that, dude. I saw Elon saying, before you go into your story, how that tweet was getting 10 million views per hour.
Do you know what tweet?
Well, Donald's first tweet back, right?
Oh, he tweeted back?
Yeah, he tweeted it. Like, he tweeted his mugshot
No.
pic. Yeah. Yeah, and he said, he just put a link, donaldjtrump.com. I didn't click it, but that was it. He just put the mugshot, and then the link of that website, it had like 210 million views, that tweet. And Elon commented right below, this tweet has been generating 10 million views per hour.
Dang.
Insane, bro. Insane. Do you know anything about that? How Trump came to be reinstated
Reinstated?
to Twitter because he was banned, right?
Yeah. Well, it was when Twitter, when Elon bought Twitter and he pretty much reinstated everybody.
Oh, so he was reinstated but just hasn't tweeted until today.
Because he made the decision because he has his
Social
own platform.
Truth, right?
Yeah, so he decided to just not participate on Twitter. He said, even if they let me back in, I'm not going to participate in it.
Yeah.
But I think he was just going to choose his moment, and he has chosen it now. And it is crazy. His mugshot was crazy. You saw the mugshot?
Yeah, I did. Dude,
was
I swear I didn't think it was real. I thought he was just mocking people.
AI generated or something.
Do you have anything else to say about that?
I think it's just interesting. I watched a little news clip in regards to that whole situation, and I think they said he's being sued for 10 different things. You know, it's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think about the Tate situation, and he was just on an episode with Patrick David, and he released uncensored footage. Did you happen to see any of that?
No, just the thumbnail.
So he released uncensored, and Tate pretty much just broke down how the Romanian system worked. And he talked about how in the Romanian system, someone could just make up an argument as to why Isaac is a potential threat. You didn't really have to do anything, but I could build like a list of arguments that says, hey, we got to watch out for this guy. He's like this, he's like that. Yeah. He's got a lot of money. We don't really know what he's doing. And then they can send it to the judge, and the judge could then arrest you and investigate you. And so it just goes to show how once you get to a level of dominance and you instill some fear into these powerful elite people,
Yeah.
you just become a threat
Yeah.
and they're going to try to take you down. And that's kind of how I view the situation with Trump.
Yeah.
He's really, he's trying to become the president again, and no one likes that.
Yeah.
And so I really think that they're going after him because of this. I imagine that if he would have never, ever tried to become president again, I don't know if they would go this hard at him.
Yeah. The deep state. How do you feel about Trump potentially winning again? There are some pretty good candidates out there, I think, from what I'm not too deep into it, but that Kennedy guy, the older
Which is
guy,
he's a Democratic.
I don't know if people or these politicians are riding the wave of Bitcoin and what's mainstream, right, to capture votes. But that Kennedy guy, I even sent it on our Telegram group with the guys where we talk all about crypto. But I sent it where he said, if I become elected, I will not charge the capital gains tax on Bitcoin. And he's very Bitcoin friendly and crypto friendly. And again, I don't know if he's just riding the wave, but I think there's some good competition out there going against Trump. And I know, what's his name? DeSantis. He's also running, right?
I've heard he's lost a lot of steam.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've heard he's lost a lot of steam. And I think he was the biggest threat, but I think from what I've heard, he's lost a lot of steam and hasn't really been able to penetrate the country. It was interesting to me because a couple of months ago when we played Topgolf with Choyas, he started telling me about politics, and I was like,
Choyas?
Yeah. And I was just thinking, dang, Choyas talking about politics. And it just made me feel, it's because it's coming. There people are starting to talk about it. And
God, I hate that we're talking about it now.
Exactly. So that's the feeling that I got when Choyas brought it up. Because I hate going into that whole period of life where we're worrying about politics. I feel that everything has been pretty peaceful and calm. And now it's going to get chaotic again. So I think I'm past my politics era. I got pretty caught up in it, guys. I got the whole Trump hat.
Yeah, you did.
The legendary Trump hat.
That one was legendary, dude. During COVID, huh? And during COVID.
I remember I would go out to places, guys, with my Trump hat, catch all of the attention. People would fuck with it. Honestly, I never got any bad energy from people.
Yeah, I was surprised. You never got anyone really
pissed or anything. Yeah, it was people just showing love, obviously, from Trump supporters. I'm sure people saw me and thought, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
But no one really said anything.
But how do you feel? Do you think Trump has an actual chance at taking it again? I don't see how Biden could win this again, dude. I just don't see how.
Now you don't see it, but 2 months before,
when they really start pushing,
when they say, let's pull all the guns out, it's because it changes.
Dude, it's scary what they're capable of doing, dude. In the sense that it's scary because of how orchestrated and impactful and strategic all their marketing efforts are to get the word out there, right? All the media outlets, the money that they're able to pull. It really does come down to how much money can you pull, right? From either your sources or, they get a lot of donations, right? I remember Cody Sanchez was talking about that in one of her videos, saying that she donates to candidates. And I think when you get to a certain level, you do start contemplating that because you want
your benefits.
It's your benefits, right? So maybe we'll get there one day. But yeah, dude, I think maybe that's why DeSantis just lost steam, because at what point you need money? You need money to employ all these people that help you with the marketing, to get the right people on your team, to strategically plan out these campaigns. If you don't have that, you're not going to get the best talent and then connections at the end of the day.
Agreed. I'm really just trying to not get involved in it, like I said. But I thought the mugshot was funny just because no one, it's just crazy. He's the first, president to, I don't know that stat actually, but they did mention something about how, he's the first one that is trying to run for president again and has just been taking a mugshot. I feel like that one's true.
God, what is his motivation, dude, to keep going? I know you're not trying to get too deep, but I just question, why is this guy continuing to go?
He has to really love the country. I think that's part of it. I think and I've heard him say that.
Yeah.
You never know someone's true intentions. Probably ego as well.
Yeah.
Probably definitely. A lot of
that
ego.
Competition gene in him must be crazy.
If you feel like you really got robbed, which Trump feels that he got robbed, you would want a rematch.
Yeah.
You would want to come back and win. So I think that's part of it too. And I think if you've been humiliated and and your name has been tarnished and people have tried to take you down, there's going to be people who don't accept that. Dude, I was watching Ramosi. It's kind of a switch in topics, but something that he said really hit me because you know how sometimes I think growing up you want to leave your legacy, right?
Yeah.
Would you say that's something that
I think I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
Do you want me to take a guess or you want to keep going with your... I think I know what you're talking about.
Just answer my question of, would you say that you're someone that is trying or was trying to leave a legacy?
Well, I think he reframed it for me, but before I would say yes.
So was, yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, he talked about how his grandpa, or no, like great, like fifth generations, was an emperor.
I don't remember.
No,
that part.
So it's not the same thing.
Maybe I just don't remember that part.
He said that his like great had like 400 kids.
What?
Yeah, bro. And
That's
that
wild.
He was a warrior back in the day, and he was just talking about how he doesn't even know much about him.
Yeah.
And he's in the family, and certainly no one else knows about him. And he was killing it at life. Literally.
Okay, hold on. Sorry, what's the time, bro? I do see
23.
We have like 2 minutes.
Okay. So yeah, he was killing it at life, and no one really knows about him.
Literally, you said.
And so he was basically making the point of, yeah, so many people try to leave a legacy, but you die and people forget, you know? And I even told you about this, with the Jake Paul and Nate Diaz.
Mm-hmm.
Building up to the fight, they try to make they try to build that hype of, if I knock you out, your career's over and this and that. And I do think it probably does happen, but it's crazy because these things happen and people forget about him the next day in a way, because, you move on to the next thing. Life just continues and that's kind of over. So when you die, I think there's very few people who have that legacy. If you go in the history books, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Edison, but that's because you just go in the history books and people just like teach you about them. But if it's not that, what is it that he reframed in your mind?
Well, there was one thing that he mentioned, and Ty Lopez also backed him up in another video that I saw. But we focus too much on generational wealth, and in a way, that's sort of the legacy that we all strive to leave behind, right? And impact financially to secure our kids, our grandkids. But Ty Lopez and Alex Ramosi in one of their videos said, what you want to really leave behind is generational knowledge, because yeah, people, when you die, people are going to forget about you. For example, Kobe Bryant, right? Rest in peace. But you don't see people talking about him as much as when he passed away. It's sad, but it's just the reality of life, that I think that, yeah, people move on with their lives. Other people come up. There are better basketball players in the come up. There are inventors out there that are better, with better technology. Entrepreneurs that are in the come up. Gen Z entrepreneurs are doing crazy things with tech. You'll be forgotten. But when you acquire everything that you can in your current life in terms of knowledge, and you pass that down to your friends, to your kids, and then your kids pass that down to their kids, I think that that's the legacy that we should be focusing on. Because even if you pass down the habits, right? It's like the saying, you teach a man you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, right? You teach a man how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So I feel like that's the concept of, instead of focusing so much of leaving financial wealth, focus on leaving the most amount of knowledge and good habits, so that that person can carry that on. And in a way, that's the generational knowledge that reframed my mindset of, I'm just going to try to acquire as much knowledge as possible so that I can pass it on, and so that my kids can build those habits to then teach their kids. So that was the switch for me.
Let me just check one thing real quick.
Yeah, but I heard Ty Lopez once said that, and
wait, hold up, I'm on my phone.
Oh, thought you wanted me to
no
carry the team on the back.
Okay. Sorry about that little interruption, guys.
Uh-oh.
No, I just wanted to briefly say, I definitely want to finish your topic, but I do want to talk about, I did get rib automated, so that's something that I want to share. But when it comes to what you were saying, what were you about to say? You were expanding on it with Ty?
No, I was just trying to keep,
Okay.
I don't remember. I was going to say something, but I don't remember.
But that makes sense. So just passing on those nuggies and information. And that is how generations, I see it with my family. My family makes the move to the US, something that I had never done before. So that creates a different breed in me and how I'm created. And so it changes our family's future. Now I'm doing all this, so then imagine my kids. And so it does kind of trickle like that. But I was also thinking about it the other day, that I do feel that it's crazy how there are still a lot of people who don't have this information. We were also talking about it, how a lot of people go down that path of not willing to change their lives, or not being able to change their lives, or not having the capacity to change their lives. I was at the airport and I was in the vet chilling, waiting, and this super beat up car pulls up right beside me, right? Nothing against that, but it is crazy how they don't know better.
Yeah.
And they don't, and that's their situation, and they can't grow out of that.
Well, do they not know better, or they can't do better? I think both.
Yeah, I think both. I think there are a lot of things that people know, but sometimes you'd be surprised how people don't know. For example, there are people who don't read the labels in food. Mm-hmm. And don't know what they're consuming,
Yeah. And they go their lives like that, dude.
Or sometimes they eat a food that think is healthy, but it's not healthy.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it is pretty obvious, but sometimes it's not. And so the masses is still, I do question, because I've been able to get out of that and open my mind to the possibilities of things. But I do wonder how many people are still in that state where I was in previously, of not knowing the answers on how to get out,
Yeah. And the question is, how do you acquire that knowledge, right? Because this is a conversation that Max and I were having earlier where we were discussing, should we hire a coach, right? A business
Right.
coach for what we're doing? Because Max and I have found ourselves in situations where if we just knew, like you said, sometimes you just don't know what you need to do. And if someone can pass down that knowledge to you, and for example, we talked about, dude, there's been decisions that we've had to make in our business where we talk amongst ourselves and we're just like, I don't know, bro. I mean, all I can tell you is like, from my experience, I've done it like this, and you draw from your experience, but it's very limited what we have.
Or you make a decision. To me, what happens, you make a decision based on your limiting factors. So you make a decision based on what you don't think is possible.
You don't think it's possible.
So
you make a decision based on what you don't think it's possible.
Yeah. So you, let's say you make a decision and you say, I want to go running, and you're trying to figure out how long you should run. You'd think, well, I can't run a mile.
Yeah.
So I'd run less than that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
You think about what's not possible, and so you limit yourself at that level.
Yeah.
And you try to figure something else. And
Yeah.
I feel that's how I operate, which I don't think is a good way to operate, because you cap yourself.
Dude, I think you do that a lot.
Right?
Because, and I see it in the gym, because when I do work out with you, just the fact that I'm there to help you on the spot, right? You do more when you were squatting, right? Or bench pressing, and you were going for, I think, 4 or 3, and I was spotting you there, and obviously I'm offering some type of courage, and I'm telling you, let's go, right? But you did double that. You did 6 reps. And I think that, again, going back to what you were saying, sometimes we limit ourselves because we don't think that, oh, I don't think I can do it. But then when you just have the support there of someone, you can knock out those 6 reps or run that mile. And that's something that's happened to me too. But I think sometimes I do push myself to, I understand the concept very well of my mind will beat my body first, instead of my body can say, oh, sorry, both ways. It happens both ways. Either your body starts beating your mind and it says, oh, I'm hurting, right? And mentally you have to surpass that. Obviously you can get injured, and if you know you're getting injured, stop. But I think that sometimes it be like that, or the mind can be like, oh, I'm tired, I want to give up, but your body is fine. So knowing that difference of which one is giving out first, I think is crucial. When I go run, I'm not the best at running, dude. Every time I run, my body's just like, please stop. like my body's just struggling, dude. I don't know if I don't have the body for running or my technique is off, but every time I run, dude, my body just is excruciating in pain. And I've pushed and I pushed, dude. Mentally, I'm like, dude, get past it. You know, I've always get to a point where my mind just calms down, it numbs it, and then boom, I'm off to the races. But it's important to know which one is giving up first.
So where are we at?
Well, what we were talking about, and I think I asked you, but we kind of got off track, was the knowledge part. That and I wanted to talk about this because I like the topic, but we talked about hiring a
business coach.
Yeah, a business coach. And sometimes with people, we said either you don't know or you can't. But having a mentor, that's something that we've been on that wave of, and I think you definitely brought that on, because every time you do a new activity, you're like, I'll just rather learn from somebody. I'll rather just pay somebody and learn it. And I've been trying to do that more. That's why I hired the team, right? The team that helps me with tasks and and Lee, the homie Lee. And you've also been on that wave, and I guess we can transition that into like the automation of how you've been able to successfully be more hands off.
Was that a transition? I don't think that's a transition.
Because you started delegating stuff and giving people, you knew how to do that so that you can I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
bullshitting, but
Yeah, I think it's a bridge. But finish what you were
it's a
gonna say.
bridge. Yeah, the consulting, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, we're debating, what Max and I were debating is it's hard also finding the right people
It is
for the
hard
job,
finding the right people.
right? You were trying to go up here, and I was like, what if we start over here with someone,
Yeah.
right? You can either pay 100K or you can pay 25K for someone.
Right.
And even that decision is difficult, dude.
Yeah.
Like, how do we make the right decision? How do we know that if we go for the 100K, they're going to give us a fountain of knowledge, and we'll probably you said 6x you, right?
Yeah.
But like I told you, and I don't know what you think about this, but I said, dude, I think psychologically you also have to be ready for that jump and for the knowledge that that person that will charge you 100K will be able to deliver to you. Can you handle that knowledge and take action? And I was more on the mindset, classical me and classical you. You go boom, and I go, hey, how about we chill, right? And I don't know, bro, but you kind of seem to understand me. I don't know if I agree, but
I understand you. And I understand you. And I think at the end of the day, both are hard.
yeah.
And it's a tough decision, but definitely hiring someone is going to make your life easier because you're just gonna get those shortcuts. And I've experienced it in my life. I've been able to hire people to help me in some areas, and it's just very helpful. You get that support and mental clarity in what you want to do, because what I noticed for me personally, again, it is it is those limiting beliefs that you have of, it's because that's all it is, bro.
You think so?
It's because I think that's all it is.
No, I talked about it in another episode where I said there are two things, and Alex Hormozy says this, but it's the limiting beliefs.
Fuck Alex Hormozy.
Fuck you. It's the limiting beliefs or the skills. You could argue that not having the skills is a limiting belief, but
okay, yes, it is. It is both, but sometimes you don't even attempt at the skill because of that limiting belief, because you think that you're not capable of doing that.
Yeah.
For example,
what's something?
For example, this is a good transition to automating rib. So one of the last things that rib needed to be automated, guys, was I needed to find someone to charge the batteries. And it's a job that is required daily. And it's a very small job that needs to be done. Well, small in terms of output of time, because you just go there and pick up the batteries, take them back home, connect them, and that's it, right? But it's a job that doesn't really, that I told myself, who in the world is going to want to take a job like this and have the schedule and the ability to meet this requirement and the pay that I'm giving, you know? I just didn't think someone would be interested.
And that was a limiting belief.
And I literally charged these batteries.
Yeah.
For how long?
Dude, and I was pressing you on that. I remember I was like, dude, you have to figure out how to not do the batteries.
But again, because of my limiting belief of who's going to want to do this, how am I going to figure it out? I think one of the biggest problems was the pay. And then I had that belief of, well, I'm saving the business money because, you know, if I do it, the business doesn't have to pay that.
Yeah.
And so again, there was a lot of limiting beliefs. But then I said, fuck it. Let me just post it on Indeed. Shout out Indeed.
They've been crazy.
Bro, Indeed has been crazy. And I posted it, and I got several applications. And after interviewing a couple of people, I was able to find someone that has been pretty fucking solid.
The homie
Alejandro.
He's been solid.
He's been hella solid, bro. No fuck ups, no anything. And but after 3 years, bro,
Okay, I'm curious because people are probably curious. How much do you pay for a job like this?
I pay $25 a day.
That comes out to around how much a month?
800 if
800?
if it's done 7 days a week, which is not.
And you're putting how
No,
many
no,
hours?
not 200, like 175.
And how many hours are you putting? Because I know you said it was a small job in terms of how much time.
It just depends on where you're driving from, and how long you're on the road.
Yeah.
That's what it depends on. I think this homie is on the road for about 30 minutes to an hour one way,
Depending on traffic.
depending on traffic, and then you just connect them.
So if he's doing that like 5 times a week, that's 5 hours.
Yes, 5 to 8 hours.
So like between 25 to 30 hours a month.
Yes.
Yeah, like you said. So you're paying around 800 a month, between 25 to 30 hours.
What does that come out?
Well, if you said you're doing 25 a day, right?
$800 divided by, you said 25 hours?
Yeah. What was that?
It's like $32.
That's not a bad gig. If you don't mind the drive, if you maybe have another gig, it's not a bad.
And if the
side
traffic's
hustle.
not taking you too long,
Yeah.
I did, because if it was 30 hours, it'd be 800 divided by 30, $26.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but again, I just thought it would be one of those gigs that would be difficult to accommodate for. But again, it was just a limiting belief that I had, bro.
Dude, I just think, you know how we talk about how do people not see it, right? I think there's even things that I see that in you that I'm like, how does he not see it, right? And same for you.
Okay, say one. Say one.
For example, this one.
But say another one.
Well, let me explain this one.
Say this one.
For example, dude, I know that you had the limiting belief of who's going to do this, right? How are they going to do this? I just think, dude, there's so many other shitty jobs out there that are filled 24/7.
Are you saying this is a shitty job?
No. I'm saying this is good compared to what people take as a job. And I just think once we found Indeed and how beneficial it was, dude, I thought there's a market for everything and people will apply for jobs left and right. So that's what I wanted to just kind of give some context on that. You want me to mention another one?
Another one. Do you have another one?
What is one? Well, the recent one would be just the fact that, you brought up, we've been on this focus wave of, dude, we need to narrow our focus. And you kind of brought up another project that, I don't know, maybe you didn't think it through all the way, but I was like, that's going to take time away from.
But how's that a limiting belief? I feel like if anything, that was a belief.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm not talking about limiting beliefs. I'm just saying when we talked about how do people not see it, right? I'm just saying even on levels, because we have different perspectives. I think at every level, people will feel like that. We'll see things in others that it's like, dude, how do you not see this one, right? And vice versa. But I wanted to continue to talk about how we've done a really good job of just, we were also talking about this, but how most small business owners stay stuck in that phase where they're not good at delegating, right? They're not good at hiring people. They give up when employees are not performing well. And it's not an easy skill, dude. And somehow but I still feel like somehow we were able to learn these skills of hiring people, managing people, delegating. And I think we're finally getting to that stage, dude, where we're owners, right? Mm-hmm. We're owners and not necessarily we're so caught up in the business doing things.
Yeah, it goes back to Kiyosaki's 4 quadrants, and it's employee, self-employee, owner, and investor.
Right.
And a lot of times, the one that gets a little bit tricky is the business owner and self-employee.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people are business owners, but they're kind of self-employees because they got their own business that they're operating, so they're not really an owner. And
so that's the transition that we've been able to make, right?
Yeah, that is the transition that we have been able to make, and has not been easy. And I've always said this from the beginning, but I give so much respect to anyone who manages people. And it was something that Isaac and I, from the very beginning, have for some reason always wanted to manage people. I remember we would make posts and say, hey, if you want to come and live with us and shoot this content, we've been pushing to hire people because we know that we needed help and we needed other people's expertise, etc. But we've been always managing people, and it has not been easy. And I remember very vividly, bro, when we created that video. And it's still in this channel, guys. So if you guys want to watch it, you guys can go to our videos. But there's a video that we recorded where Isaac and I said, are we failing as business owners, as leaders?
Yeah, I remember that one. With the black and white thumbnail.
With my head like this. And so the journey has not been easy. And then you have to find the employees, and then you have to interview the employees, and then you have to figure out how you're going to pay the employees. And then you have to manage them, and you have to get them invested and interested and make it fun.
Dude, and I'm starting to understand how people say it's just not for everyone. It's just not for everyone because and I say somehow because I think the important thing is that you have to enjoy it. One way or another, you have to enjoy doing that. And I personally enjoy coaching people. I enjoy when my employees see that there's a system for them, that they see that there's an issue that comes up, and I'm able to resolve in the best way possible for them. And it makes their lives easier. And also when I just use other people's skills and they're proud of those skills, like for example, Lee, dude, I'm happy that Lee's a friend of mine that I hired to help me with some back-end stuff, automation, coding stuff. And he didn't have a job. He was jobless, and he was contemplating, should I start doing just side gigs? And I was just hanging out with a few friends, and I met him, and we started talking about what we do. And he said, oh yeah, I worked for this company in ATX, Austin, Texas, and I do coding. And I was like, dude, I've been looking for someone that can help me with very technical stuff. And I started just building a relationship with them. And when he completes a project, I can see that he's excited about it. He's happy about it. And I'm sure he feels accomplished. And that to me, dude, is such a good feeling when people know that their skills are being put to use and that they've done something good. So I can see how it's not for everyone. And we've both seen this in multiple people where most small business owners get stuck in the face of they try to hire, it doesn't go too well, they stop hiring, and then they're just like, I kind of don't want to do it again. Our cleaning lady, right? She's great. Yes. She's great. But every time she comes.
Okay, tell the story of what I asked her, though. Because this was shocking. Do you want to tell the story? Or should I?
You go ahead. Okay. I don't remember exactly.
So, I remember when our cleaning lady came. This was very shocking to me because she cleans our apartment and she's pretty busy.
Shout out, Daisy.
Shout out. I guess.
Like, I guess, shout out?
I guess. But she's pretty busy and she's pretty tired, she's an older lady. And I could just tell that this is pretty tiring for her, but she has to do it, right? And so I asked her, because this was during a time where I think Isaac was getting interested in the cleaning business, And so I wanted to just get a little bit more insight into how Daisy, our cleaning lady, had done it. And so I asked her, why don't you hire other people to clean the houses? Because I asked her, do you have more business that you let go? And she said, yeah, I just can't get to all of it. And I said, well, have you thought about hiring someone else that could clean the houses? And her mind was just, she looked at me with disgust, bro. She said, and then what? I keep like $20?
Yeah.
And I just said, in my mind, I was just like, yeah,
Right.
but you don't do anything, And I remember I asked Misael, who canceled on us. I asked them, bro, would you rather make, I think I told them 250K a year, working 40 to 60 hours a week, or would you rather make, I think I said 75 or 100K, but now working many hours, 5 to 10. And he said that one, but I don't know. I think a lot of people, their actions, what they actually show is that they rather, and again, I did this with Rib too, and I was wanting to keep more, but by me doing more as well and being more part of the business. And it got to the point where I think you and I both collectively arrived to, which was, let's delegate as much as possible and have our time back, even though it doesn't make us as much as it would if we were working and we were doing these tasks.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because, every time Daisy comes, sometimes we have those conversations where, again, she tried, because she said, yeah, I tried to hire this person, but she wanted to get paid a lot. And obviously it shows a lack of skill in managing and understanding business. But again, to reemphasize, most people get stuck in that stage where they want to keep as much as possible from the business, but the most important asset is your time. And if you don't have the time to strategize with your partner, with your friends, whoever you're doing business with, or to go out there and explore other ideas, I would much rather make less, like you brought up to Misael, but have my time back so then I can go out there, explore other ideas, and make more money in return. Because I would probably make, right, like you said, on what, keep $20? Yes, keep $20 for a year. But what you didn't realize is in that year, you had 10 more hours a week to go out there, network with other people. And as long as you're able to pay the bills with those $20, but you're in parallel working on other side hustles, dude, exponentially is going to be much better for you. You're going to want to have your time back in order to take that next level. And I think that's where we're at right now, where, dude, when I think about it, we delegate a lot of things in our lives, and it can go as low as in, it's business, right? So we have employees, right? We have 8 employees or so. And then we recently hired a team to help us with tasks on my end with the things that I need. You've also been trying to hire people on your end for the things that you need. Even your sister helps you out with some things. And then it goes in a deeper level where, in my case, for example, when I order groceries, right, I delegate that to someone else to come and bring me groceries. If I'm trying to recover my body, I delegate that to someone to come and massage me, right? So it's things that if you can make that next step to that level, the possibilities are endless, dude.
And I would say, just as a challenge, just try to delegate something.
Yeah, that's good.
Try to delegate something in your life right now. It doesn't have to be something business oriented.
What are some examples that people can start to delegate? Who might be watching this?
I think just look at the time, look at what you're doing, look at the tasks that you have to do, and see what are those things that take a good portion of your time. Or also think about the things that you want to do, but for example, maybe you can't do, for example, you could delegate to a trainer to train you and to pick your workout. You know, a lot of people don't go to the gym, don't work out because they don't have the knowledge or because they don't want to go to YouTube and research everything.
Yeah.
So you could delegate that to a trainer and have a trainer show you all the exercise and be there for you and support you.
And I'll even put it even simpler, dude, because this is something that I did recently in the gym. You said delegate that to a trainer, right? If you don't have the money, get a freaking app that will have programs already structured for you. I did that, dude. I was like, I don't want to go to the gym and be thinking about, because it's not my main focus right now. I don't want to go to the gym and be thinking about what my workout will look like. So I downloaded this app. It's called Beastly, and I just go on there. I look at my workout and I do it. No, I'm not having to think about it. That's as simple as it can be as delegating, the thinking process of what am I going to work on.
Honestly, a simple one, and we were just talking about it, your house. So many people have dirty houses. Delegate someone to come deep clean your house once a month. Literally game changer, something that we didn't really do right into Diamond Bar. I don't think we did.
Well, but we hired a cook, right?
We hired
Austin,
a cook,
Texas.
yeah, but that's not a cleaning lady.
Right.
And when we got to Diamond Bar, our landlord implemented mandatory monthly or bi-weekly.
Oh, yeah. I think monthly
cleanings.
Yeah.
And that was the first time that I got used to that type of service because we didn't do it. She implemented that. It was part of the rent. And it was
shout out Mandy.
The best day ever.
Yeah. You do love those days.
Those are the best days.
Max comes on a day that's been cleaned the house. I just love when the house is clean.
It's just amazing.
Yeah.
So that's honestly a simple one that you can do.
Yeah.
And
even if you live with your parents, dude, do it. Give your mom a break. Like, give your fam a break. Just
that's what it is.
You know, just put it on for your family and say, hey, you know what? I'm trying this new thing. Let's see if we can get this house cleaned. So you don't have to do it, mom. You save time. So you don't have to do it, dad. So my sister doesn't have to do it, and just get the house clean. And you'll see how much mental space that saves you.
And don't be afraid to invest those $100, those $200, those $300, even if it's $500.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to make that investment. Just do it to feel what it is to delegate something and to reap the benefits of you having your time and having the work done professionally. Because sometimes you're just not even as good as doing those things.
Yeah.
So if you get it done by a professional, not only do you save your time, you get wiser, and then you get just better results in general.
Is there something that you're trying to delegate right now? I know you just did the batteries, but is there something new that's creeping up on you?
I think when it came to the content side, I told you how I'm trying to find some editors that can help me create the content.
Have you had any progress on that? Have you made any progress?
I've made progress, but it is just one of those situations right now where I don't know if it's a limited belief. But right now, I'm just really enjoying creating the content myself. And I know that it requires a very special attention to detail, and I really got to understand what I'm trying to do first.
Yeah.
Before I just say, hey, I'm trying to do this and hand it off to someone. Trying to think if there's anything else, but I think I should have that challenge too.
Yeah.
Delegate. I think we both should do that.
Yeah. I have one that I'm working on right now. Is, we run Google Ads for Rib and for Beachside. The optimization score has dropped in terms of, Google tells you how optimized your campaigns are. And they're both in the 70s, I think. And the recommendations they give you to optimize it higher, they're a little bit too technical for me, which I can do if I put the time, right? But I just don't have that. I don't want to make that time for it. I'd rather hand it off to someone that just focuses on Google Ads, and that team that I hired to help me. just love it so much because they can do so much for you. They have someone for that. They have for editing. They have for high level system that we use. And I asked them, hey, I need someone to help me optimize my campaigns. The recommendations are a little bit too technical. Do you have somebody? Jason reached out and said, yeah, I'll put you in touch, and they'll charge you like 400, 500 to optimize the campaign. And I'm like, done, let's do it. So I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but I'm already in the new channel and all that stuff. But that's something that I'm trying to delegate right now, where it's like, I don't want to dive deep into Google Ads, and I don't need someone to manage it. I just need them optimized to get back to that 90, 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it'll yield us more results for the shops.
Well, that's pretty much all for today, guys.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It was, we didn't know what we were going to talk about, but I'm happy about the pod. I think there was good conversation and some knowledge for business owners. We have our bike rental shops here in California, and we're trying to do other projects, but we're getting to that level where things are starting to become more serious, and it does take, Bedro says this all the time, but you might be the bottleneck to what you're trying to accomplish. And I think delegating those things is when you start to realize maybe I am the bottleneck, right? Or my time, the time that I have available. So if you feel like that, maybe start thinking, start simple, like Max said.
Yes, do something simple. Thank you so much, guys. Episode 14. Please make sure you like and subscribe. And please, if possible, just share it with one other individual. Anybody that, if you found the delegating topic would help someone, feel free to share it with them. Give them the timestamp. It'll be below, but just share this video.
And I want to say, if you're going to take Max's challenge of delegating one simple task, drop it in the comments. Like, what are you going to delegate? And yeah, I'd like to see some people delegating some stuff.
Yeah, that'd be fucking dope.
That'd be cool. All right, guys. See ya.